Hi, I'm here with a live at 5 for you on Friday, and I have been busy in my studio. I've been in the midst of moving at home, and it's funny how when you get on a roll and you are thinking about your possessions and organizing things, you kind of get into a frame of mind and a mode. And I've been doing organization at my new house and at the new storage unit, and I have found myself in a similar mode here at the studio. And I found some nice products that are helping me kind of get some order going in my studio, and I thought I would share them with you. I get no kickbacks, or I have no affiliations with any of the companies or any of the things that I'm going to be showing you today, but I just thought in terms of organization, you might also be looking for ways to store your things more efficiently, and so I thought I'd share a couple of the things that I've been doing here in the studio. This is a large shelf that I have that has been collecting dust and been kind of out of order for quite a while. And I've got some things that have really been helpful from the kitchen section of the grocery store, and I've also found some craft storage that has been very helpful, and I thought that I would show you how I'm using them. First of all, I just made a new book cover. This is a sketchbook that I have here at the studio. It's a bound sketchbook, and I decided I wanted to kind of play around with collage and mixed media. I was feeling very much like I wanted to do that, and it sort of prompted, it's funny how one thing leads to another, right? In the doing of this project, I got out some of my old collage papers, and I realized what a mess my collage supplies had become over the years, and it made me want to kind of bring some order to them. And so in doing this, whoops, it looks like I lost connection there for a minute. I hope I'm still with you. In doing this project, it sort of prompted me to want to get to organizing. So I found this unit, which was available at Michael's, and it's got all of these shelves. It comes with 5 shelves, but I bought a supplemental stack of 5 shelves because I wanted to organize my collage papers. And let's see, this is the modular panel unit. It's backwards, but it's called Simply Tidy, and it looks like that in the picture. And I got this at Michael's, and unfortunately the coupon did not apply. The daily coupon for Michael's did not apply to this, but I really liked the fact that I could stack this either vertically or horizontally, and you can see here that I've done it horizontally. And so what I've done with my papers, since when I work in collage, it's kind of like working with a palette, right? You want to have colors at your disposal, and for me the most logical way to organize my collage papers was according to color. And so I kind of broke it down, and I made piles that I have since put into these little bags. But beginning here, I started with violet, and then I just sort of went down the color wheel, going to pink, and into my reds, into my oranges, another orange because I seemed to have a lot of those, to yellows, down here to some greens, And I basically just have them in Ziploc bags that are open so that I can just continue to shove things in here. This is sort of my blue greens. These are my more true blues. And then down here I've got some multicolored things that really didn't fit very well into any category. So this could be an option for you too. Hey Betty, thanks for checking in. If you feel like you've got papers, collage papers, even scrapbook papers, I've been thinking about pulling my scrapbook papers out of the books, the various books that they're in, and perhaps organizing them according to color, because truly if they're in a book somewhere and I'm working, you know, with a bag full of my colors, I may or may not think to go to that book and pull out papers that might actually work with the project. So that might be for another day, but this is basically kind of a fun way that I've come up with to store my collage papers. Next to this is another fun thing that you might benefit from, and I'm going to turn my camera around here. This is a stack of my sketchbooks. I have a bunch of these. I have many, many, many sketchbooks, and I love keeping a sketchbook and having it available to me. And whenever I travel, I try to dedicate a sketchbook to a country. In this case, it's my Ireland sketchbook. And so all of these images in here would be images that were, let's see if I can do this one-handed, were from Ireland. My Oscar Wilde page with his quotes. This is my daughter in the garden. There's a lot more for me to do in here. This is Blarney Castle. Anyway, lots of fun memories in these sketchbooks. And of late, I've been wanting to decorate the covers, because many of the sketchbooks I get are these dark black covers, and it's hard to distinguish them after a while. And so what I've been doing of late is covering them, and sometimes making notes to myself on what is in the sketchbook, so that when and where I grab it, I kind of know what to expect once I get in there. Whether it's collage or just simply going over it with gesso and then scratching into it some sort of indication of what's inside. To me, it's really helpful, because so often if I want to reach for something, notes from a certain workshop or whatever, it's hard sometimes to know where to go. And if I don't have it on the front cover, my other little hint for you would be to, on the inside cover, maybe make note of whose notes you might have in there, or what images or what things of meaning might be found inside the cover of that sketchbook. So to store them, what I've done is I have used pot racks. Do you see that? They're just pot racks, but they're really sturdy, and so when and where I want to stack them, they're just all neatly stacked and vertically so. I really like having them out on a tabletop, and I may move those ones that I just show you to where I can just kind of look over the top of them and see, you know, what they are. When I do the covers, I like to use acrylic paint, and I like to have fun with my stencils and with color, and quite often I'll even think about, you know, what if, like, let's say this particular one is from Italy, and so these colors kind of remind me more of Italy, whereas this one is from Ireland, and of course the green is reminiscent for me of Ireland. So it could be a fun way for you to dress up your sketchbooks too, and to maybe even make a note to yourself of what is inside. All of these various ways of doing it, whether it's through gesso and scratching into the gesso, or collage with writing on it, or just writing on the inside cover, might also help you to keep track. These little hints are born of necessity, because I have so many art supplies that it's wonderful, but if you can't put your hands on them and you don't know where they are, it gets in the way of your productivity. My final little share for you today is a way to stack the boards and the supports that you might have. You might not have as many as I do, but because I teach classes in my studio, very frequently I have a lot of gatorboards and even just wooden boards that people can use to put their papers on while they're in class with me. So I've come up with this little system, which is a vertical system as well. This is basically a paper holder from an office supply store, and I predict that you might pay less for it if it's not in an art store. Funny how art supplies are just automatically jacked up. But this is just a file folder holder, something that you'd think about putting on top of your desk to organize papers. And so I think it's working really well to hold a bunch of these boards in a real organized fashion. And now when and where I want one, I can just reach for it and grab it. And I think storing these boards vertically makes a lot more sense than storing them horizontally, one on top of the other. I've got a few of my bigger ones stored here just between shelving units, and these are for like full sheets or bigger sheets. So there we go. I also have these, I guess they're sort of like scrapbook paper holders. They're containers that I got at a craft store, and what I've done is I've just labeled the outside. I've got art tissue and construction paper, and just kind of made a note to myself of what is inside them, because again, if you don't know, then you're going to not even be able to use it in a functional way. So I hope this helps you. If you've got collage papers, I would encourage you to think about organizing them according to color. I think it will help you to use them more effectively when and where you take on a mixed media project. And mixed media is definitely calling my name these days. I am really hankering to go in that direction. So hopefully I'll be bringing you little tips and tricks in that department before too long, because I have a feeling that that's going to be at least some of what I'm doing. In fact, maybe what I'll do is try to bring you maybe a tutorial on how I kind of go about covering my sketchbooks and letting that be a project. You could always take the same process and use it on either an old failed painting or a fresh piece of white paper or canvas. Mixed media is a fun way to recycle work and also to rescue paintings that maybe haven't done so well for you as maybe a pure watercolor. So that's it for today. I hope you guys are all doing well. If you've enjoyed this video, think about leaving a comment for me. It's always nice to hear from you. And I'll come back probably next Friday with a little video for you about the same time, 5 o'clock on Friday. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon.